Hello computer cooks and welcome to Perifractic's Retro Recipes Live. This is an exclusive live unboxing going out initially to my patrons only who are joining me right now on the live chat. So if you're watching this a little after the live broadcast, welcome to Retro Recipes and to the, of course, the Boots CR375 that I've used in all of my live videos, providing the music. Alright, now this first package is so big, no pun intended, that I'm going to have to unbox it slightly off camera. But we will get started because this is the one that I am most excited to open up. Alright. Oh, can you guess from that immediate reveal what is in here? Yeah, I think this has a Commodore flavor. Oh, hey, I know what this is. Okay, let me get this out of the box. So this guy reached out to me on Facebook and said he would like to donate, yes, David, a Amiga CD32. Here it is. This is the back of the box that I just opened. But we'll get the tape player out of the way. Take a good explore of all of this. Wow. It is the world's first 32-bit CD games label. Oh, console. That makes more sense now. Hi Jakub. Hi David. Thanks for joining us in the chat. Should we open this up? I think we should. Yeah, the music isn't coming from the console. I'm going to go widescreen here just for a second if I can. And we'll take a little bit of a better look at this. Oh, so exciting. So I never owned one of these, but I had fond memories of having the promotional t-shirt. Oh, and now finally, thanks to James, who donated this to the channel, I can actually say that I own an Amiga CD32. Now, we won't be plugging in and testing it just yet because James mentioned he hasn't tested the power supplies, so we don't want to risk anything going bang. And I think this did use a proprietary power connector there. But yes, this is definitely one for the museum, David. Ah, so cool. Oh, there you go. Maybe we can play our music on this in the future. We'll retire the Boots tape machine. Anyway, thank you, James, so much for that donation. I'm going to put it safely away over here, and we'll get cracking on with our next unboxing. Let me know in the chat, by the way, if you did ever own a CD32. Beautiful machine. Oh, I'm so excited. This is like Christmas, only I do it like 3 or 4 times a year. So I'm a very lucky boy to have all these donors and my patrons as well. If you want to join the Patreon and just support this small retro channel, I'll put a little linky just here. And that way you can join in these live unboxings and check out all the other rewards that I offer, like free music and books and that kind of thing on the channel. I think actually I did have a peek inside this. Did I? Or was it opened by my my shipping service? I think they may have checked this. Oh, I know what this is. Fantastic. Okay, so this is a 3D printed power supply housing that is designed to fit with my little invention I came up with of a new Commodore 64 power supply that I made using just USB wall warts. And I put it in a case like this initially. This is a spare case that I have. I'll put a link to that video here so you can check out how I created that. And it was literally a plug-and-play power supply creation that didn't use a lot of soldering or any of that kind of stuff. So this guy, he watched that video and he said he wanted to make a more Commodore-esque version of this. And on the chat, yes, indeed, this is cool. It is very reminiscent in that black. Of course, we've got some... Look at that. all the specifications in case you were ever in doubt. And there's the website, caliquin.com. So thank you for donating this. And hey, James just joined us on the chat. James, I don't know if you were here when we just unboxed your CD32. We took a very quick look at it. But yeah, this all snaps together and creates a more Commodore-esque housing for that USB wall wart option that I created. Thank you so much, calquin.com. Go check out that website. See what other creations we have going there. I know someone else is also working on one of those. It's another of my retro friends, and we'll see if he comes through with an option that's a little smaller perhaps, or has more ventilation, because that was a concern, just to make sure things are well ventilated. Okay, so this comes from, well, you can tell from the label, this comes from thefuturewas8bit.com. And how ironic, the future actually was 8-bit, because here we are in the future. And these guys have donated something, because I've got an idea for a future project. A lot of you loved the Lego Commodore 64, and I wondered if I could make a Lego housing for the SD2IEC. So the future was 8-bit. They donated a few of these, and honestly their SD2IEC is the one I've always used. So you can check out retro-cloud.eu or tfw8b.com, tfw8b.com. And in the future video, I'm going to be seeing if I can turn this into a little Lego housing. And I did ask them if they could make sure they included these little labels that they make, so that I can stick that on the front of the Lego version. Beautiful. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get to that, because I've got, not kidding, my list of future videos is about, well, it goes into the year 2021 right now. And then I keep coming up with interim ideas that are kind of more topical. So that list then gets pushed back and back. But we will definitely be looking at that. The Lego SD2IEC. I told you I was a lucky boy, didn't I? Okay, let's crack on. Again, I have no memory or idea what this could be, but if it's anything like the last ones, I'm going to be pretty excited. Ooh. Ooh. What is it? Dear Mr. Retro Recipes, as I have announced earlier, here is my video enhancement kit. I know, so this is from Reinhard Graffel, I think that's pronounced correctly, and it's basically a replacement for the RF modulator, if I understand correctly. So let's take a little looky in here. Thank you, James, on the chat. Yeah, it definitely arrived in one piece, that CD32. This, okay, so that, yeah, that's like a piggyback option. So you put your VIC chip on top of that, and it's called the C64 ModRev1, github.com/copperdragon with a 0. And so therefore in here, we must have our RF modulator replacement. That is cool. Okay, so I can see where the pins would go, and this would stick out the back. And this may be for switching video modes, maybe PAL NTSC, although I don't think that's going to be possible with only one VIC chip. Speaking of that, however, I am going to be soon publicly launching my VIC to switch. You may even have seen it if you're getting this video a little later. And that's going to allow us to switch between PAL and NTSC video in one Commodore 64, so you have full compatibility. But this is meant to enhance the older bread bin RF output and give you a lovely component output instead through this cable. Thank you so much, Reinhard. I'm hoping to check that out at some point in the future. As for now, one of the last unboxings coming up here. Let's see what we got in here. Ooh. This is really heavy. Oh, it's one of those helping hands, hand-holding things. This allows you, hello, now you can get a better look at what's in here. This allows you to hold PCBs and wires and cables using multiple arms and clips. So the clips should be in here too. And it just literally gives you a helping hand while you're doing your work. And there's the base. And this was donated by, do we have a note? We do. Thank you so much, Oliver Merkel, for my present. It is a present. What is the helping hand soldering with LED magnifier? Now, funny story. Along with getting this donation from Oliver, I remembered him mentioning it, but I also got a Christmas present from my niece, and it's this, which is basically the same idea. So definitely, if I need not 8 helping hands, but 16, I will be combining the two of those gifts together. That is awesome. Thank you, Oliver, either way. Now, there is one more donation, but I've just realized it's in the boot of my car, or as we say in America, the trunk. So I'm going to leave you with some music just for a few seconds while I dash outside, try not to kick the dog, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, tell me some interesting gifts or donations or retro stuff you've got in the live chat. I'll be back in 2 seconds. It'll probably be about 30.
Hey guys, just sneaking on here real quick while he's out of the room. People are always asking where he gets a lot of his fun retro clothes, and surprise, I'm the one who buys them. So I wanted to show you guys this really fun thing that I got him. And to spare you having him try them on, they are essentially funderwear, and there's a link in the description box below. This is not sponsored. You can get 20% off. Look at how fun these are. They're retro arcade games. And yeah. Oh gosh, he's coming. Don't mention this in the live chat, guys. Thanks, I'll see you later, bye.
I'm back. Live TV. Anything can happen. All right, so let's get unboxing because this I really want to show you. What did I miss? Alex says, the Tesla should be able to bring it by autopilot. Yeah, it doesn't fit in the house. I've tried getting the car in the house. And the garage is already a little bit in use with my Retro Recipes studio, if you didn't notice. But this, what could be inside this? So excited. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Need I say more? These are Retropie Cases from Gigabyte Solutions Limited. Retropiecases.com. And let's just have a look at this. Oh my giddy aunt. And of course they are Raspberry Pi 3D printed cases, complete with power LED. And I believe these are the world's smallest Commodore computers. Don't you just love that so much? Oh my gosh. Sorry. Do you know, I've been waiting for the Spectrum Next to arrive. And it still obviously hasn't arrived, which is fine. They want to get it right. But this gives me that feel of having a ZX Spectrum finally. And let's see, I guess just snaps together, huh? Now, I don't have a Raspberry Pi handy. It's in use in another project right now. But this is going to just be lovely sitting in the museum there, giving me an option to boot up a ZX Spectrum. And of course, the world's smallest Commodore Amiga, kind of. Ready for the Retropie package. And look, again, just snaps together. Don't want to risk breaking it, but it just pushes. Ah, that is so cool, isn't it? And you guys agree on the chat. What I really loved when he showed me the pictures of this was the SD card is where the floppy drive would be on the Amiga, which is just the finishing touch, really. That's it, the world's smallest Commodore Amiga and ZX Spectrum and Commodore 64. And yeah, you get the idea. Thank you so much for that donation. Go check out his website again, retropiecases.com. And that nearly wraps everything up. Did get these because it was these guys' 5th anniversary recently, and they sent me, and a lot of channels, they sent a bunch of stuff. But I do have to say a big thank you to PCB Way for helping me out and helping create these videos. I honestly probably wouldn't be here if it was not for them. And on top of all that, I have no hesitations recommending them because they make absolutely fantastic quality stuff. Thank you, PCB Way. Before I wrap it up, because we are approaching that 20-minute mark, I do want to say thanks to Mrs. Perifractic. She came home one day from Target and said, "Hey honey, I bought you this." What a sweetheart. It says try me. There it is. If you're a fan of the channel, you know I love asteroids. It was the only game I ever had on my first ever computer, the Atari 400. And here it is in mini arcade form. Thank you, Ladyfractic, for that as well. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap it up now. As always, thank you to my patrons for joining me. I can't credit you in a live video, but I'll put all your names in the description of this video when it goes public. And to everyone else watching at home, join me next time as we'll be doing some stuff with all of these things that you've seen at some point in the future. Thanks for watching. As always, comment below and cheerio.